as the pace car is getting ready to take the hard left turn down to pit road, and we are getting ready to go back underway here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Pace car is just about to come off, as unfortunately Tyler Hallman has taken it behind the wall. His race will be done here tonight, as that is not good for him. Green flag is back underway here. Rob Haynes gets a great jump with Mueller on the outside as they come down towards the front straightaway here. Roaring start here as Scottless Rammer will look to the inside as they go into turn one. Side by side, Scottless Ramble will now slot up into the second position now as they come off of turn two. David Weishart slowly about a car length or two back from the top three as they come down the back straightaway. Rest of the field is kind of singling themselves out as Gary May is going to do a battle with Jerry Glenn. This is the battle for 7th position as they're going into turns 3 and 4. Glenn just got a nose out on the outside of that number 10 as they're coming off of turn 4. Almost a little bit of close contact there, but they back off as they're going to go side by side down the front straightaway. It is still going to be Gary May in that 10 car holding off Jerry Glenn right now. But that battle up towards the front of the field is starting to heat up as now Mike Rominger and Weishart have closed into the back bumper of the top three in front of them. The top four now nose to tail with Rominger closing in. Here they go into turns 3 and 4. Alan Fox also going in as Weishart looks to the inside of Michael Mueller as they come off of turn 4. You see that number 33 car trying to power his way on the inside. Still though, Mueller holding strong on the outside into turn 1. As we look ahead, Scottless Rambler looks on as he tries to find a way to get by the likes of that 29 of Rob Haynes, but can't quite make it work as they go down the back straightaway. Still side by side, though, is going to be David Weishart and Michael Mueller as they go into 3 and 4.
Yeah, really interesting right now to watch that higher line that Mueller's running to see if it can continue to be fast here as the run goes on. I know from past experiences, Atlanta always seems to get loose as the run goes on, and that higher line might be the place to be. So we'll have to see as Mueller continues to battle on the outside of Weishart if that is the place to be in this race with this warm of a track. With all the sun down on the track, the surface is very warm. These cars going to get a little bit squirrely as the run goes on, and they still battle it out, but it looks like now the 27 of Mueller does get in front of him.
Yes, indeed. He's able to complete the pass coming off of turn 4. Let's give a quick little update on what the weather conditions are like here for today at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is a partly cloudy day with temperatures in the high 80s, 87 degrees, with a track temp of 106 degrees. So definitely for sure the track is going to be hot, it's going to be slick, it's going to be difficult to drive towards the end of the run. So these drivers are going to have to take their time, bide with not using up their tires in these early laps as we start getting run into the race here, as we have just completed lap 55 of the 145 laps here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Cars are now going to be single file pretty much throughout the top 10 right now. Actually, quite all the way back to the top 20 just about, as looks like the number 80 of Jay Pryor is down on pit road. Seems like his day might be done here pretty soon, as the field still single file as they go into turn 3.
Yeah, as they're still trying to single file out, looking at Alan Fox.
Back underway with here as they come off turn 4. It is still going to be your leader, the likes of Rob Haynes now in that number 29 Ford Mustang with Scottless Rambler right on his tail. And then you go to about a couple of car lengths back to that battle for third between Michael Mueller and his 27 and David Weishart in the 33. David Weishart, one of the multiple-time winner here this season in the Ricmotech Cup Series. He's going to take a look to the inside as we see Mueller staying up on that middle groove high line as they come out of turns 3 and 4. Can't quite make it work for Weishart as they come off of 4, but he's still going to be side by side, while the 9 car of Mike Rominger will be looking on as they go down the front straightaway and into turn 1.
Yeah, and still staying side by side, Rominger. Kind of looking on of the 2 cars in front of him, and that's Mueller. Weishart still side by side, battling it off in the 3 and 4. And that outside line for the number 27 gets him a little bit of a nose, but not enough again to quite clear Weishart on the inside. Going down through the tri-oval, the 27 of Mueller does finally get by him.
He is trying everything, and he's going to still stay up to the high side as Weishart, as well as Rominger and Alan Fox will stick to the bottom of the racetrack as they come off a turn 2. Now down the back straightaway, Weishart almost tried to stick his nose underneath going down there, but had a slot right back behind the likes of Mueller as they go into turn 3. Now you see still Mueller running that middle groove as they come out of turn 4. Weishart tries to stick his nose underneath, but can't quite make it work. Here comes Mike Rominger with a good run now as they come down the front straightaway. Let's see what he can do as they go into turn 1. He's going to take a dive to the inside now. He's going to go side by side, or it might go be possibly 3 wide here as they go into turn 1. Mueller way up high, but is able to shut the door right in front of David Weishart, as Rominger is going to be on the inside of Weishart as they go down the back straightaway. And here comes the 73 of Alan Fox as well, who gets a good run off of turn 2. He's trying to close that gap, but can't quite make it work, as this is a battle for the final step of the podium here as they come off of turn 4. Is still going to be the likes of Mueller holding on to that third position, who's been quite strong these past few races as he's trying to hold on and work that outside line, but it looks like Weishart gets a good run off of turn 4, but just with that momentum, Mueller is able to hold off. Now here comes Rominger on the outside along with Alan Fox now as they go into turn 3. Rominger is able to possibly clear the likes of David Weishart. Let's see if he's able to hold him off as they come out for turn 4. Here they go side by side still. Weishart on the inside, Rominger on the outside as they come across the line. And I believe we might have just missed. Nope, still the same leaders right now. Still going to be Haynes and Scottless Rambler. As his timing and scoring made a quick little malfunction, but still Rominger, Weishart side by side as they come off of turn 2. That outside line is really coming into play, Steve.
Yes, it is, but I'm taking a look right now back up to Rob Haynes and Rambler, and they have their little bit of a breakaway. They've got about 3/4 of a second all the way back to Mueller there. So it's going to be interesting to watch to see if these guys switch up their line. There's a lot more cloud cover on the track right now, 62 laps in, than what we had just 10 minutes ago. And that's going to start cooling down the track, starting to tighten up these cars. And you might even see some of these guys start to pick up the pace if they like a little bit of a tighter race car.
They may, or they could try and save a little bit of their tire wear and not risk maybe burning up all their tires later in the going here. And I believe David Weishart's had a little bit of a slip up coming out of turn 4. That's going to cause the likes of Alan Fox now to come to the outside lane as they go down the front straightaway now into turn 1. Alan Fox in that purple 73 is going to go to the high side, while David Weishart in that black and blue Chevy Camaro now is going to be on the inside as they go down the back straightaway, side by side. These two are in the playoffs. They're trying to battle it out as Weishart cannot be able to hold on. Lets the 73 of Alan Fox go by, move him up into the top 5 later in the going here. And with that, Weishart is now still under a lot of pressure and threat. Now the 7 car of Ed Morris and the 17 of Tommy Haynes now are going to go on the outside lane as the 98 of Jerry Glenn looks on as they are trying to get by. I think David might be using up his tires a little bit too early on in this run. He's going to start slipping all the way, possibly even outside the top 10 before this is all said and done.
And I'm watching right now, Weishart's really struggling down on the inside line. He's got the number 7 machine to his outside of Ed Morris. Morris trying to get by him, and then Tommy Haynes behind him. They're up on the middle, and then the 17 on the higher line as Weishart continues to stay committed down the inside.
This is something, as we see now the 17 now of the likes of Tommy Haynes now going to go to the inside line now as they go into turn 3. Side by side they're going to go. Weishart now takes the outside line and is able to hold off the likes of Tommy Haynes as they come out of turn 4. This is amazing. David Weishart, who was one of the top front runners early on in the season with 2 wins, actually the only driver, I believe, with 2 wins this entire regular season. He seems to be struggling. Started back in the 20th position with a little strategy, though, helped him get up inside the top 5. But now those tires seem to be fading to where he is now dropped back to 7th. But now he gets a good run on the 7 of Ed Morris now as he goes to the inside as they go into turns 3 and 4 side by side. Weishart now picks up the pace and is able to get back by the likes of Ed Morris as they come off of turn 4.
Yeah, he was able to make the pass there, and now the 33 is back on the go. Really have not missed anything up towards the front either. It's still Haynes and Rambler out in front. They're right on each other. And then you've got Mueller about a second back trying to chase him down. But other than that, for the most part, the field's starting to single file out a little bit more here. And we're probably, 15, 20 laps before we might start thinking about that second round of pit stops.
Indeed as well. Let's give a quick look at where of our points drivers are for the chase here, are currently running. Currently right now, you see our current leader, Rob Haynes. He is currently in the points right now. Scottless Rambler, he is currently not in the points. He is currently sitting in the second position. Michael Mueller third. Mike Rominger fourth. Alan Fox is in the fifth. That's currently your top five as we are getting ready to almost make it to the halfway point now. Drivers are completing lap 68 of the 145. And it's quite amazing to see how easily the likes of Rob Haynes and Scottless Rambler have pulled away from the field now. It's now 1.1, and I believe it might be a little bit more when they come across the line. Nope, still a 1.1 second lead over the rest of the field as they came off of turn 2. And now we have a battle between the likes of Ed Morris and Tommy Haynes. The 17 was able to make a pass going on to the inside in the middle of 3 and 4, but here comes Morris now, coming now back on him as they go down the front straightaway here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's going to take a look to the inside as they go in towards turn 1, but can't quite get to the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to run that middle groove, following in suit behind the 17 of Tommy Haynes as they come off of turn 2. Still going to be nose to tail. That was about a car length separates the two drivers. Let's take a look through the field, see if there's any other battles going on. There's one right there for the 11th position between the likes of Travis Pryor in that 81 and Darren Clement in the 32. You see now Travis going to take a look to the inside as they go down the front straightaway as the 32 of Clement is going to give way as they go into 1. Pryor has a great run coming out of the middle of turns 1 and 2, but can't quite make it work with Clements, who gets the run and momentum on the high side, is able to stay up in front of this group and still continue to hold on to that lead.
Yeah, I'm just watching right now. Alan Fox up there with Rominger, and then you've got the 33 of Weishart trying to make his way back up through the field. As we're only 72 laps in, that's about halfway at this point. But these drivers are doing everything that they can to make their way through the field. And it's interesting to watch as each time you see one driver make a slight mistake and lose all that momentum, with the way that this new package is, everyone comes right back up there and you've got 2 or 3 cars in a battle yet again.
Yes, indeed, as you now see Weishart now looking to the inside of Alan Fox as they're going to come across the line. Let's see who's going to prevail on this. It is still going to be Alan Fox with that high side, helping him out, using that momentum to help him keep in front of the likes of Weishart as they go into turns 1 and 2. But with that, since we are now approaching the halfway mark, actually we just have passed the halfway mark here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway, let's take a look at the Ford Entertainment Group Midway Race Break. Currently, right now, your race leader is going to be Rob Haynes in that 29 Ford Mustang, followed by Scottless Rambler in the second position, Michael Mueller in third, Mike Rominger will be in the fourth position, followed by Alan Fox in fifth. Battling him is going to be David Weishart in the sixth position. In the seventh position will be Tommy Haynes, followed by Ed Morris in eighth. Ninth position will go to Jerry Glenn, followed by Nick Hunt in the 00, rounding out your top 10. Sitting in the 11th position will be Darren Clement, followed by Travis Pryor in 12th. 13th position will go to Bryce Senesac, followed by John Sterling in 14th. David Elliott will be in the 15th position, followed by Gary May in 16th. Randy Perdue will be in the 17th position. And then 2 laps down will be the likes of Joshua Gillen in 18th. Jay Pryor and Tyler Hallman will be 19th and 20th. They did not finish the race. With that, that's been a look at the FEG Midway Race Break. FEG PC has been serving the iRacing community with custom-built affordable computers specifically built and tuned for iRacing. Your PC will come with everything you need preloaded so you can get racing as soon as it hits your doorsteps. Get yours today and join the 600 plus iRacers already enjoying an FEG PC. PCs to fit every budget from $540 and up. Visit www.fegpc.net and mention code LSRTV10. That is LSRTV10. And get your build quote today.
Well, I tell you what, Taylor, after taking a look through the field and looking at Rob Haynes right now, he's hoping that his FEG Mustang has a couple more horsepower in it than everyone else. He's got Scottless Rambler still breathing down his neck in that 57 machine. They are just right on top of each other up at the front of the field. This is really the only 2 cars I've seen all night long just glued to the inside line, not breaking it for anything.
They have stuck to the bottom. They've been bottom feeding that inside lane all night long, pretty much, as they're now coming into turns 3 and 4 and pretty much have pulled away from the rest of the field. It has pretty much been the likes of Rob Haynes and Scottless Rambler show up towards the front of the field right now. Michael Mueller has tried to throw some his weight around to try to get up there, but can't quite seem to close the gap, as he is now 1.4 seconds back from the top 2 right now, as he tries to stay ahead about a half second back from the likes of Rominger and David Weishart, who are in close follow. One thing also to keep in mind is also the likes of, I believe, in the 6th position is going to be the likes of Tommy Haynes, who's looking on as well, and he's closing in, as we have the first driver to pull the trigger to come down pit road. That's going to be the 00 of Nick Hunt. He's currently sitting in that 10th position and working his way back.
Yeah, I think once you start seeing some of these top 10 cars start to come on down, then you might start to see the leaders come as well. One thing I'm going to be watching very closely, Taylor, is I don't think we can quite make it to lap 145 from this point, and definitely not if we have green-white checkers. So these drivers still probably going to have to keep pit strategy on the mind here tonight, as we're 80 laps in. Fuel runs about 45 laps, I do believe, 40 to 45 laps, so we're not going to be able to make it to the end. So this sets us up for an interesting bit of pit strategy if the race goes green.
And most definitely it will be an interesting set of strategy calls here. Looking through the field right now, the closest battles other than for that battle up there between the likes of Haynes and Rambler, which Haynes is pulling away from right now, is that battle for 4th position between the likes of Mike Rominger, Weishart, and Tommy Haynes. As we now see the 33 car go to the inside of Mike Rominger into turn 1. He's going to try to complete the pass as they come off of turn 2, but can't quite seem to make it work. Weishart gets a little bit below that white line, gets quite loose. That's going to cause the likes of Tommy Haynes now to come up on the outside and try to make the pass as they go into turns 3 and 4. Side by side they'll go, but can't quite make it work and can't quite clear them as they are in 3 and 4. Weishart's got a nose right on the inside, but then backs off. He's going to be coming down pit road this time by, and I got to say, Steve, Atlanta is one of the most difficult. He tries to almost lose the control of the car. It's one of the most difficult pit road entries under green flag conditions.
Yes, for sure, especially with the old surface down there. You got these hot Goodyear tires. You come down trying to slow down from 170, 180 miles an hour all the way down to pit road speed. Not an easy task by any means. And, of course, it's always harder when you're coming down and you're right in the moment. You know, you're not taking anything for granted, trying to get every inch you can, and sometimes that leads to a mistake on pit road, even on exit. It's not easy to get off the Atlanta Motor Speedway pit road either. You've got to run, you've got a little tiny bit of banking, and if you don't run it quite right, you can spin the car pretty easily.
It most definitely did. We saw that almost happen to the likes of David Weishart. A couple more cars are coming down pit road. The likes of Travis Pryor and his 81 slides into his pit box. Has to now back it up and try to get in his box properly. And I believe I saw another car. I believe that was the 5 of Randy Perdue as well. He came down pit road to complete his pit stop here, as the field is staying out on track, waiting to see who will be the first out of the top 3 to come down pit road. Rob Haynes is now coming out of turn 2 right now. And looking through the field, I believe some more drivers, Alan Fox, Ed Morris, have come down. Gary May have made their pit stop. So here we're going to keep an eye to see what happens to the likes of Rob Haynes. Is he going to stay out another lap? Yes, indeed he will. Same thing with Scottless Rambler, Michael Mueller, Tommy Haynes, and Mike Rominger. Your top 5 right now are staying out on the racetrack and determining who will be the next one to come down pit road. Currently all the way back to that 42 car of David Elliott has not come down pit road yet, as Nick Hunt is still the first one on fresh rubber, currently leading, but he is in hot pursuit right now from Alan Fox, who is right on his pack bumper. This is the battle for the first car, 1 lap down, just in case a caution does come out here before the leaders pit. And looking through the field right now, it is still going to be the likes of Haynes staying out on the racetrack. But due to the fact of that fresh rubber that these 2 drivers have, Nick Hunt and Alan Fox, they're easily slicing their way up through the field.
And as it's sitting right now with the number 29 and the number 57 trying to stay out, They might just be trying to stretch it there, Taylor, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get enough out of it, as it might be this time by they're coming down.
Yes, indeed. Here comes the likes of Rob Haynes. Scottless Rambler stays out, though, along with Michael Mueller's coming in pit road. Tommy Haynes, Mike Rominger have also decided to come down pit road. Darren Clements staying out. Same thing with Jerry Glenn and John Sterling. Bryce Senesac and David Elliott have also waved the flag. They are going to come down pit road. I believe actually Elliott is coming out of pit road right now as we speak to get back out onto the racetrack here under green flag conditions. As we are now waiting to see when Scottless Rambler will come down pit road as he decides to stay out for another lap. Of course, for a driver like Scottless Rambler who did not make the playoffs, I believe correctly, he is just trying to get out there to win these races as best that he can here tonight, and he's doing a good job of it. He's been running inside the top two pretty much for a majority of this race. As the 17 car, Tommy Haynes, is now going to be coming down pit road this time by. Waiting to see if Scottless Rambler will also come down as well. I believe he's going to come down. Yes, he is. Hard onto the brake zones as well. He will come down pit road. Same thing with Tommy Haynes, Mike Rominger, Darren Clements, John Sterling. Now, it is a battle to see who can get back on the lead lap and who can end up leading this. Currently, right now, by the looks of things, it could be the likes of Nick Hunt.
Yeah, Nick Hunt right now, right in front of Alan Fox in the number 73 machine. They might be able to come out as the leaders, probably by 6 or 7 seconds, I'm thinking. But it's going to be interesting to see how long that's going to last. They do have a little bit older tires. And, of course, we do have one more pit stop that's going to come around the bend. So, as they're getting ready possibly to go side by side, Alan Fox thinking about looking down to the inside. He's not going to quite do it. And David Weishart right there behind him wants him to battle because he wants to get in the mix as well.
Here they go into turns 3 and 4. You see Alan Fox try to look to the inside, though. Nick Hunt shuts the door. Here comes Weishart, though. High, wide, and handsome he goes to try to get by the likes of Alan Fox, but can't quite make it work. He's going to get to the door of that 73 car as they come down the front straightaway into turn 1. Your new race later will be the 00 of Nick Hunt with the likes of Alan Fox in second, but David Weishart with the fresher tires compared to those two drivers. He's going to try to get by Alan Fox. He will do that down the back straightaway, has his eyes set on the 00 of Nick Hunt now as they go side by side into turns 3 and 4. New race leader, David Weishart in the 33.
And it looks like they're going to have a good bit of time behind them before having to get back to Michael Mueller, about 4 seconds at the moment. So they're going to have a little bit of time for Mueller, and then Haynes, Rob Haynes is back there as well, about 4 seconds back. So they do have a little bit of room behind them to make something happen. But again, with that pit stop in the middle, you might start to see some drivers thinking about short pitting or taking 2 tires, something interesting to maybe make a bold move, especially if you're not in the chase and you want to steal a win.
And this could be a good time. I mean, you're looking at a driver such as Nick Hunt, who didn't make the playoff. He was up there running for it. Now he's starting to drop back just a little bit as Ed Morris in that number 7 car will take a look to the inside as they go into turns 1 and 2 side by side. Ed's got a nose out in front, but Nick Hunt with that high side momentum will try to keep it tight up there on the outside line as they go into turns 3 and 4. Nick's still going to prevail there, but here comes Ed now in that number 7. He will be able to complete the pass as they come off of turn 4. Still going to be putting him in the 3rd position, so that will put the top 3 drivers who are running right now. Those are some of your main front runners in the chase playoffs here, as we are also looking back towards 4th, 5th, and 6th right now. That's the battle right between Mueller and the likes of Rob Haynes now as well. Scottless Rambler, though, has fallen off quite a bit right now between those 3 drivers in front of him, running up in the top 3 pretty much all night before this round of pit stops. He's about some 4 seconds back from the likes of Rob Haynes and Mueller.
And right now, Weishart still opting to be kind of on that middle higher line through 1 and 2. And just as I say that, he moves it all the way down to the white line. Alan Fox, of course, right there behind him. They've got a little bit of a gap back to Ed Morris, who's about a second behind. But Michael Mueller and Rob Haynes, they're both on their way, trying to make it back up there to get up and take the lead back from Weishart and Fox.
Ooh, Michael Mueller almost making a little bit of contact between Ed Morris as they come off of turn 4. So it's only going to be a matter of time before these two cars, the 29 and the 27, have caught up to the back bumper of these two drivers of Alan Fox and David Weishart. I mean, they are absolutely flying. A 30.9 for the likes of Rob Haynes, while it's a 31.4 for David Weishart. So the speed is definitely showing for that number 29 Ford Mustang as they go into turns 3 and 4. Look at the speed he's carried through the middle of that corner coming off of turn 4. He is absolutely closing in on these two, and it won't be long before he gets to the back bumper and to the inside of both of these drivers as they go down the front straightaway into turn 1. The 29 of Rob Haynes goes to the bottom of the racetrack now to get by the likes of the 73 of Alan Fox. Side by side they will go. Here comes Michael Mueller as well. He's going to go up to the high side and give the help to the likes of Alan Fox, giving him a little bit of a push as they go into turns 3. But that's not going to work as we see Rob Haynes now clear the 73 of Alan Fox coming off of turn 4 and has one more car to go. David Weishart, he is in your sight. Let's see what he can do as we complete a lap 96 of the 145 laps here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Here for the Ricmotech Extreme Cup Series here. This is the first round of the playoffs. Here we go. Pass for the lead down the back straightaway. Rob Haynes to the inside of David Weishart. Here comes Michael Mueller, who's going to also go to the inside of Weishart as they go into turns 3 and 4. New race leader Rob Haynes will take the top spot as they come down the front straightaway.
And we took a couple looks there on the number 29 of Rob Haynes as these guys were battling around him, and what an exciting race it's been so far, especially up at the front of the field. Definitely nothing stale thus far up in front. And as we continue to watch these guys battle, it's Weishart now on the outside. Here comes the number 27 Mueller on his inside going into 3 and 4. He's got a nice run. He clears them. Now he sets his sights on to Rob Haynes in the number 29 machine.
Michael Mueller, we saw him do so well at Kansas Speedway, putting on a dominating performance there. He's going to now try to set his starts to kick off the playoffs right by trying to win the first round here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but he's got a little bit of work to do. Currently, right now, they're almost running identical lap times just about. Rob ran a 31.37 compared to Mueller's 31.39, so they are just right there on times right now as they're coming out of turns 3 and 4 to complete lap 100. 45 laps to go here at Atlanta. Looking through the field, another driver who's up on the move is Scottless Rambler. He is able to get by the likes of Tommy Haynes and Nick Hunt and Ed Morris. Now he will move up into the top 5 and set his sights on the 73 of Alan Fox as they come out of turn 2.
Yep, lots of battles all over the track, really. Taking a look, Alan Fox, he's broken away from anyone around him, but I was watching a couple of battles a little bit further back towards the end of the top 10. As it looks like Mueller is setting his sights yet again on Haynes up in front. And I think if I was the number 27 machine right now, with 46 laps to go, well now 45, I would be biding my time a little carefully as he almost catches the apron there. He actually got a good bit of it, but I'd be very careful at this point of the race. I'd be sitting there trying to make sure that I don't use up my car, because if you do and you don't have anything left at the end when you need it, you could be in trouble. And then of course you never know if you're going to get in an accident or anything like that, so you've got to be so careful, especially with so much time left on the board, that you don't get yourself in trouble.
Well, he's going to take that carefulness and kind of avoid it as he tried to go to the top side of the racetrack there into turns 1 and 2, but had to back off just a little bit. But you are right, Steve. Plus, with the matter of fact that we still have at least one more pit stop for these drivers, they can't make it on fuel here, so they will have to come down pit road. And with also the factor that we have 3 attempts of a green-white checkered here tonight, so a lot is still in play, as we still see the battle for the lead between the likes of Rob Haynes in that 29 and Michael Mueller in the 27. Rob Haynes, we saw last week, take home the checkered flag at Kansas Speedway, and he is picking up where he left off, trying to hold off the likes of Michael Mueller, who he was having a battle with last round of Kansas till Mueller got caught up in an incident late in the race. So he is trying to redeem himself after that incident and try to find a way to get by the likes of the leader as they're going down the front straightaway. We see a little bit of a tap between him and Rob Haynes as they go into turn 1. Mueller, though, backs off, tries to see if he can get a better run-off corner exit. Can't quite make it work now as he comes up to the top side of the racetrack, coming down the back straightaway. It is still going to be the likes of Rob Haynes holding off Michael Mueller as they go down the back straightaway into turns 3. Mueller just backs off. He's trying to save his tires, I think, a little bit to get that better run-off corner exit, Steve.
Well, exactly. You got to keep those tires on it because as soon as it starts to burn those right rears, if you've slid your car enough, it is hard to get it back under control. So if you're Mueller right now, you're just paying attention, making sure that you don't run it too hard. And then, of course, you do have Scottless Rambler coming in as well into the picture. He's about 1.6 seconds back right now, but he is starting to make his way back up towards the front as well. He's 16 laps on older tires, and that's about 3 laps older than what Rob Haynes and Michael Mueller have. And then, of course, everyone's still thinking about when do we come into pit road. Yes,
indeed. So it's going to be a determining factor. We could see drivers pit as soon as anywhere between now and probably around lap 120 to 130 maybe, as these drivers are trying to determine what is the best strategy. Because, yes, fuel is important, but also making sure you have the freshest tires as well as enough time to work your way up through the field. Because every point will matter for these drivers if they want to advance to make it to the Final Four here tonight at Homestead in just only a couple of races.
And as I glance around through a lot of the other drivers in the field right now, drivers like Bryce Senesac, I've gotten very accustomed to seeing towards the front end of the field. And right now he's running in 12th. Still a solid run, but he seems to be struggling with that 09 machine. He does have a clean machine, which is always important, but right now he's running outside of the top 10. He's got David Elliott that was able to get around him, and he's trying to make the breakaway. And then, of course, John Sterling, another driver I'm used to seeing towards the front of the field. He's back there in 13th.
Yeah, he's now going to do battle with Bryce Senesac as they go down the front straightaway now. These two are in the playoffs, along with Darren Clements in that 32, who's right behind him. Sterling was able to get by him coming down the back straightaway. Here comes Sterling now. He's going to take a peek to the inside, but decides to follow suit now to follow Bryce Senesac down the back straightaway, heading into turn 3. And now takes another peek to the inside. We see now Senesac go to the middle of the groove here on turns 3 and 4, while John Sterling, that black number 3, tries to take that bottom line now. Side by side, they will go down the front straightaway. It is still going to be Senesac over Sterling now as they go down into turn 1. Senesac working hard to try to keep the outside lane, but here comes Sterling with a great head of steam down into turns 1 and 2. Let's see if he can clear him coming off of 2. He will in that number 3 Camaro as they go down the back straightaway. Here comes Senesac. He's going to take a peek to the inside, but can't quite make it work. Those tires starting to come off for the 09 car. Here comes Darren Clements as well on the top side.
And as all that goes on, there's still a couple of other battles I'm watching throughout the top 10. I've got Ed Morris right now on the high side, getting passed by Rominger on the inside. He's on much fresher tires than Morris, so he's going to make quick work of him. He's going to get around him, and so did Tommy Haynes in the number 17 machine, as they're both about 7-8 laps on fresher tires than Ed Morris. And a number of guys that are up towards the front right now are in the same boat. And then taking a look back up at the top 2, they're still running as they were, 1 and 2, about a quarter of a second from each other. And I think right now Mueller's just continuing to bide his time and try to keep the tires on it. But then you've got Scottless Rambler, again, peeking into the picture down the back straightaway there.
He is trying to close that gap, currently at 1.7 seconds, as we have the first driver to determine to come down pit road now. That's going to be Nick Hunt in that 00. He's going to pull the trigger. He knows he cannot make it on fuel, so he's going to pit early here. It's coming from the 9th position. Looking through the field right now, some of the heavy hitter drivers who have decided to come down, as David Weishart is now dropped to 4th position, or is in the 4th position, but he's made the climb all the way up to 20th. So he has gained a total of 16 spots currently here since the start of the race here tonight. Biggest loser of tonight would have to go to Tyler Hallman, started in 4th, dropped all the way to 20th. So basically take those two drivers and switch them around a little bit, as we are completing lap 113 of the 145 laps here tonight, closing in on 30 to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. This is, of course, the first round of the chase for the Ricmotech Extreme Cup Series here. And I tell you what, This race has been very exciting, a lot of close racing, a lot of clean racing, as we've only had one caution here tonight.
And then I was looking at another driver I've been a little bit surprised to see towards the back. That's going to be the number 81 machine of Travis Pryor. He was involved in a little bit of contact early on, and that right there, so unfortunate for him. The number 81 machine has been so consistent week in, week out, and now he's back there doing the best that he can, but with a damaged machine and probably a little bit down on horsepower, unfortunately, Travis Pryor's just got to bide his time and hope maybe a couple guys get caught up with the wall or have some issues on pit road.
Speaking of drivers coming down pit road, the number 7 of Ed Morris has decided to come down pit road along with the 10 of Gary May. And speaking of Travis Pryor, as we brought out, who is still running in the race, his brother Jay Pryor got caught up about 60-some laps ago in an incident. His day is done here, as we're looking through the field right now and see the likes of Nick Hunt with the fresh rubber. He's now going to slice his way up through the field, as he's now currently the first car one lap down, as Tommy Haynes is now going to come down pit road.
I think this round of pit stops is just going to be so crucial, especially if we get some type of caution or anything that breaks it up midway through. If you're Rob Haynes, Michael Mueller, and you get caught staying out, you could really find yourself in a lot of trouble, even if you do have a couple cars that wave by and whatnot. With the way that the tires are here, I think you'll end up with some guys right at the tail end of the lead lap that might get in front of you. And then if they stay out, of course, they're on older tires, and then that makes it tough for everybody. And then we have the potential for 4 green-white checkers here tonight as Rob Haynes brings her down pit road.
Rob Haynes blinks first as far as those who are in the top 5. He's going to come down pit road as Michael Mueller, David Weishart are going to stay out on the track. Scottless Rambler, he's also going to come down pit road along with Alan Fox. So currently some of our heavy hitters that are up on the top 5, top 10 all night. David Elliott as well, Darren Clements are going to come down pit road to get service needed done on their race cars. How will Michael Mueller respond? He's coming in this time by. Same thing with David Weishart. What about the likes of the 98 of Jerry Glenn? Will he come down pit road? Yes, he will. Nick Hunt, of course, he is trying to get back out onto the lead lap along with Ed Morris. Tommy Haynes has just been able to beat off these drivers to stay on the lead lap. And I believe Rominger, he, as well as a lap down along with Tommy Haynes. So it's now this battle right here that we have to see who will come out on top amongst these drivers.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those things where if you nailed your pit stop all the way across the board, like it looks like a lot of the guys up towards the top 5 did, that's going to make it up for you. You could lose 1 or 2 seconds under a yellow, and yeah, it'll be 4 or 5 spots, but you lose 2-3 seconds under green, and that's 2 or 3 seconds, and that might even be harder than making passes.
Well, our race leader, Michael Mueller, has come off a pit road, but he is getting passed by several other drivers right now, as the likes of Ed Morris, Rob Haynes, and I believe Scottless Rambler have also gone by him. So it's now determined, waiting for time on the score to get all caught up and straightened out. It's determined who will be your new race leader after that round of pit stops. And it's going to go back to Rob Haynes, your race leader, once again here, followed by Scottless Rambler in second, Ed Morris. With some great strategy calls, he will move up to the 3rd position, followed by the likes of Nick Hunt, who is under extreme pressure from the likes of Michael Mueller, as they're almost going to go 3 wide into turns 3 and 4. There you see Moore's on the outside, Nick Hunt in the middle, Mueller on the inside. Who is going to be the bravest? Mueller will be able to squeeze by both those two drivers, get a 2-for-1 here. He will move up to the 3rd position as they come off of turn 4. Now Ed Morris is going to try to see if he can get by the likes of Nick Hunt as they go down the front straightaway into turn 1. Side by side they will go. Nick Hunt, who is in the playoffs, trying to get by, Ed Morris is in the playoff. Nick Hunt, it is not in the playoff, trying to be one of those who kind of takes a win away from these drivers who are desperately needing these points to try to stay in the hunt for the playoffs. As we look through the rest of the field, David Weishart moved back to 6th, followed by Tommy Haynes 7th. Rominger is in 8th, followed by Alan Fox, and John Sterling. He's going to move up inside the top 10 here tonight as he is able to get by the likes of Bryce Sedesak and Gary May, who he's been battling with all night.
Well, dare I ask you, Taylor, here as we're coming down to the final 20 or so laps, if you had to pick someone, who's your pick to win here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway?
Now, Steve, why would you do something like that? That is going to be a very tough one, but you can't go wrong with our current race leader, Rob Haynes, who's just been playing it so smooth and cool all race long, pretty much leading a lot of these laps. But I feel like Scottless Rambler could be the spoiler here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway. He's been running right behind the likes of Rob Haynes pretty much mostly the entire night, and after that round of pit stops has caught back up to the back bumper of Rob Haynes. And as we're closing into the final 20 laps here, it could be a possible pull a rabbit out of the hat type trick for Scottless Rambler to where he could find a way to get by Rob Haynes.
Well, I don't know if that was fair, Taylor. It sounded like you picked two drivers there, so I guess I'm going to have to pick Michael Mueller. I've been watching him throughout the night in that number 27 machine. I'm really liking the speed that he's shown. I think right now he's just struggling. He's got the freshest tires out of everyone on the track at the moment, but he's just got to be able to get back up there and battle with the 57 and the 29. He's been running in second for the majority of the afternoon, so I think this is really the furthest back he's been all night long, Taylor.
I agree with you 100%. It's very difficult to pick a driver who would come out on top with so much talent that is in this series. And as you see right now, we pretty much have a good shot, as the top three drivers that we did pick is running in the top three currently right now, as they are about to get the 20 to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Rob Haynes still holding strong over Scottless Rambler, about a tenth of a second between the two drivers. As we now look at timing and scoring, Michael Mueller, he's now down to 6/10 of a second to catch back up to the top two right now. Rest of the field slowly but surely trying to catch back up, but the farthest back is going to be David Weishart, who's about 3.8 seconds back from these top three drivers. As we try to look through the field, see if there's any more battles. There's a little bit of a battle going on back for the 6th position. That's going to be between the 17 of Tommy Haynes, the 73 of Alan Fox, and the 9 of Mike Rominger. As poor Nick Hunt in the 00, being one of the first cars to come down pit road, he is struggling to get that extra needed grip, but that's usually where he ends up staying by the time the tires start to come up to proper temperature. He kind of sticks around in that 9th, 8th, and 10th position, as he is currently doing a great job trying to hold on to that position. As we now see Tommy Haynes go to the outside. Alan Fox dives to the bottom of the racetrack as they go side by side into turns 3 and 4. Coming out of 4 is going to be Alan Fox, is going to get a nose out in front of Tommy Haynes, but Tommy Haynes, with that momentum on the outside line, he's going to try to fight back as they go down the front straightaway, but Alan Fox was so far going to prevail as they go into turn 1.
Yeah, he shoves that number 73 all the way down to the white line. I think one thing that might have made it tough there is he's got a little bit of aero tightness from the 7 machine in front of him there. And that's going to take away some of the air, some of the downforce on the front of that car and make it push up the track. And this time in 3 and 4, the 73 of Alan Fox makes the big push. And he's able to get around the number 17, and now he sets his sight to the number 7 machine just in front of him. He's got the draft, and now he's going to look for clean air. He's just going to run right up behind him, but he's got a big run coming through the center of the corner. Coming on off the corner, he's looking down to the inside, and he's going to stay up, tucked up behind him, and now he looks again, and down to the inside he goes in 3.
Side by side they will go. There goes Alan Fox with the fresher tires compared to the likes of Ed Morris as they come off turn 4. He's easily going to take that position, move him up to the top 5, but here comes Ed Morris with a little bit of momentum right there. He's going to get right to the back bumper of Alan Fox as they go down the front straightaway into turn 1, but with that fresh rubber, Alan Fox just pulls away like a head of steam out of the corner in turn 2 down the back straightaway, move him into the top 5. Started up in second place after some strategy calls, is able to climb his way, though, back up into 5th place. All right, well, back up to the front of the field, the top 3, Michael Mueller has caught Scottless Rambler and Rob Haynes. He's now going to go to the inside of Scottless Rambler into turns 1 and 2, but can't quite make it work. With Scottless Rambler getting a little bit too tight there, that's going to cause Mueller to also get tight, and they almost made contact. Rob Haynes now pulls about a car length over these two drivers, as now Mueller goes to the top side, Rambler to the bottom of the racetrack as they come off of turn 4. Now here comes Mueller with a head of steam now as they come out of there, but can't quite make it work as Rambler closed the door on him as they come down the front straightaway. We are now under 15 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. It is go time indeed here for Michael Mueller to try to find a way to get by the likes of Scottless Rambler so he can have a shot at Rob Haynes now, as they're going down the back straightaway. Each driver is separated anywhere between 1 to 2 car lengths from the next car in front of them as they go into turns 3 and 4. Rob Haynes is pulling away little bit by little bit as Ramler trying to close that gap as they come across the line. Rob Haynes ran a 31.64. Same thing as well, I believe, for Scottless Ramler, so almost identical lap times, while Michael Mueller ran a 31.7. And then, of course, David Weishart, he's starting to close his way back up in there. It was 3.8 seconds. Now it's 2.6 seconds for the number 33 two-time winner this season, as he's trying to catch back up. He doesn't have a whole lot of time left, but we could get that strange little caution that could come out before this is all said and done.
And I tell you what, right now, watching the battles that we have up front, Rob Haynes wants to see Mueller get challenged a little bit more, because look at him make the big dive into 1 and 2. Here comes the 57 machine trying to get up right underneath Rob Haynes. He's not going to be able to look out quite yet. Diving off into 3. We're going to see they both go down to the bottom. The number 27 machine, Michael Mueller, falling off a little bit, and Scottless Ramler is right on the back bumper of the number 29 machine of Rob Haynes, and he looks down to the inside. Going into 1, he's got the big run, and now the 29 goes up to the middle line. And is he going to be able to clear him? He might try to do a little bit of a slide job, and it works.
Slide job complete, but not done yet, as we see Rob Haynes try the crossover. Ramler tries to throw the block as they go into turns 3 and 4. Now Haynes goes to the top side of the racetrack. Ramler sticks it down to the bottom of the racetrack. Mueller looks on as they try to find a way to sort themselves out as they come off of turn 4. Haynes gets a little bit loose coming off of 4 as likes of Scottless Ramler is going to pull away just a little bit. New race leader as we are now 10 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Rob Haynes, though, not done quite yet as they come off of turn 2. He's going to try to find a way to get to the inside, but here comes Michael Mueller with a head of steam.
And right now, Scottless Ramler's got to get that car, make sure it's all under control, make sure the tires aren't too heated up. We're coming to 10 laps to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Rob Haynes wants the lead back, and then Michael Mueller, the freshest tires out of all of them, he wants to get back up there. He's done running in second, down to the inside line. Here he comes.
Michael Mueller and that 27 Ford Mustang is going to go side by side with Rob Haynes. Scottless Ramler smiling is like, yeah, go ahead, boys. I'm going to go ahead and take this win away from you guys. But that is still a lot of racing left to go. Scottless Ramler pulling away about a 0.2 of a second lead. Could be a little bit more when they come across the line. But Michael Mueller completes the pass on that FEGPC Ford Mustang of Rob Haynes as they come out of turn 4. Looking at the timing and scoring, that's now going to be about a 0.4 of a second gap between Mueller and Scottless Ramler as they're now going into turns 1 and 2. But here comes Rob Haynes back on the attack as they come out of 2, but can't quite make it work. That car gets way too tight. He has to back off.
And David Weishart's 2.5 seconds back from these guys up in the front, and he's hoping that they wad it up because he'll be there. And if we get a caution, everyone's back in the game, as it looks like Rob Haynes gets extremely tight through 3 and 4. That number 29 machine way off the pace coming through that corner there. Absolutely lost almost like a quarter, maybe even more of a second there.
Well, look at this. If I'm correct, I think Tyler Holloman and David Weishart are teammates. Tyler Holloman's helping the likes of David Weishart get a little bit of a push. He's got some fresh rubber. He's kind of giving the likes of Weishart that push he needs down the straightaways to help try to gain some time on the top 3.
Yeah, and we saw a lot of that at Kansas, but here this week, with the damage that the 52 has and David Weishart just not being as consistent tonight, that number 33 machine, I don't see that even bump drafting is going to be able to help him out much here. But you never know. He could catch Haynes as he gets a little bit closer each and every lap, but he's losing the gap to Scottless Ramler each lap as well.
He most certainly is, as we are closing into the final few laps here. About 7 to go here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Scottless Ramler has been able to pull a little bit of a gap over Michael Mueller. About 0.3 of a second now as they come across the line. It is now going to be still about 0.2 of a second now between Michael Mueller, who's come up to close that gap. Rob Haynes, though, he's fallen back to about a second. He's got a lot of work to do if he wants to try to catch back up to the likes of the top 2. As we see, David Weishart has closed a little bit on Rob Haynes, but has made no headway on the top 2. He's still about 2.8 seconds back from our race leader. as Scottless Rambler, Michael Mueller are still doing battle as they come off of turn 4.
And we're riding on board with the number 27 machine of Michael Mueller. He's using that middle line. He's got the momentum. Between the middle line and getting the draft down the straightaways, that number 27 machine is closing the gap ever so slightly here. Take a look coming up off the corner. You see the 57. He pushes all the way up to the wall. Here comes the 27 with that big run. And then into 3 and 4. He's going to check up early. And now he's going to dive down to the inside. It's go time. 4 laps to go when they cross the stripe here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
4 laps to go, and you know what there, Steve? They're coming up on some lap traffic as well, so that's going to throw a little bit of interesting situations as the likes of Randy Perdue and Travis Pryor are just up ahead. They're just coming off of turn 2, while now our race leaders are coming off of turn 2 right now. Scottless Rambler doing everything he can to hold off the likes of Michael Mueller. Mueller, though, set a faster time between the two, a 31.88 compared to Rambler's 31.91 as they come off of turn 4. Mueller gets a great run off of turn 4, but can't quite seem to close that gap. Still about a car length separating the two drivers as they come across the line here. Still about 0.2 of a second between the two drivers.
And Mueller goes back up to the middle line down the back straightaway. He seems pretty strong in 3 and 4 on the inside. He's just trying to make that middle to high side work in 1 and 2. Going into 3 and 4, that gap still at about 0.2, about 2, maybe 3 car lengths. And then through the center of the corner, Scottless Rambler uses the inside line and is able to make the shorter way around the track. Now we're coming to 2 laps to go here. Can Michael Mueller, can he get to the 57 and now not only get to the back of the 57, can he get around him?
That's the question. Now that you caught him, what you going to do with him? Is he going to try to make that pass? He's only got about 3 miles left, less than 3 miles to do that here. As they're going into turns 3 and 4, Scottless Rambler is doing everything that he can to try to hold off the likes of Michael Mueller. He wants to show that he definitely needed a shot at this championship, but he is going to try to spoil the party. White flag is in the air one more time around only a mile and a half, but here comes Michael Mueller. He's going to try to get ahead of steam into turns 1 and 2, but can't quite make it work. He's going to have one more shot as they go down the back straightaway.
And the 27 gets the big run. Here he is. He's closing the gap. He's almost to the bumper. He's not quite there going into 3 and 4. He goes up to the middle line, now down towards the inside. Scottless Rambler's going to be leading him off turn 4. Looks like the 27 of Mueller's going to make one final run, but he's not going to be able to get there. And Scottless Rambler will be able to bring home the victory here at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Scottless Rambler, the spoiler, has taken home the checkered flag here at Atlanta Motor Speedway to kick off the chase here for the Ricmotech Extreme Cup Series. What a race indeed, and what a great championship we're going to have in store. As Michael Mueller and Rob Haynes will finish out your podium finish. David Weishart and Alan Fox, your top 5. With that, we are going to take a quick short little break, and when we come back, we are going to give you a rundown of the field and interview your top 3. You're listening to the Ricmotech Extreme Cup Series only on LSR TV.
And welcome back to Atlanta Motor Speedway on LSR TV. M. Scottless Rambler is going to be your victor here tonight. We're going to take a look at the FEG official results here. Scottless Rambler does come away with the victory just by a neck over Michael R. Mueller, who is less than 2/10 back from him. Rob Haynes is going to be finishing third here tonight, followed by David Weishart, Alan Fox in fifth, Tommy Haynes in sixth, Mike Rominger in the 9 machine finished in 7th, followed by Ed Morris, John Sterling, and then Nick Hunt to round out the top 10.
Coming home in 11th position will be Jerry Glenn, followed by Brett Senesac in 12th position. David Elliott will come home in 13th, followed by Darren Clements in 14th. Gary May will come home in 15th, followed by Travis Pryor in the 16th position. Then, of course, Randy Perdue in 17th, Joshua Gillen in 18th, Tyler Hallman in 19th, and Jay Pryor will round out your top 20. With that, that's been a look at the FEG full race results. FEG PC has been serving the iRacing community with custom-built, affordable computers specifically built and tuned for iRacing. Your PC will come with everything you need preloaded to get you started as soon as it hits your door. Get yours today and join the 600-plus iRacers already enjoying an FEG PC. PCs to fit every budget from $540 and up. Visit www.fegpc and mention the code LSRTV10. That is LSRTV10. And get your build quote today. And with that, we are bringing in our race winner, Scottless Rambler, here tonight. And Scott, I tell you what, we're going to have to start calling you the spoiler, as you have just spoiled the Chase playoff drivers with your win here tonight. Tell us how your car was and how your race went for you.
Oh, man, this car was so good. I don't know what it was. I didn't see it anywhere else with the people that we were racing around, but for whatever reason, I was able to keep it within like 2 to 3 tenths of a second of Rob's back bumper the entire time. For whatever reason, I was just so good right behind him and was able to save fuel and save tires and just really able to get on it.
And definitely you were able to. And with that, what kind of momentum is that going to build for you for the remainder of the season? Even though you're not in the playoffs, you can still definitely try to show these drivers that you definitely had a shot at deserving a spot.
Oh, absolutely. It was absolute heartbreak not making the playoffs this year. Unfortunately, I had 2 DNFs leading up to the playoffs. If I had finished well in either one of those races, I would be in. But as far as what it says for the rest of the season, I want to do this the rest of the season. I want to go through, be the spoiler, and I want to scare these guys coming into next year.
Well, you're definitely kicking it off on the right foot indeed with this win. And before we let you go, who is the ones who you got to thank to help you keep on up with these great races that you put on?
Well, definitely going to have to thank Downforce Motorsports. Both of my teammates right behind me, Michael Mueller and Rob Haynes. It was a 1-2-3 for Downforce Motorsports today. I am so happy we were able to make that happen. It's been a long time coming. We just haven't been able to make it happen up to this point, so it's really cool to kick off the playoffs that way. Sim Graphics, Next Level Racing, Ford Entertainment Group, 26 Productions, Neonism Games, Ricmotech, Premier Private Car Services, and everybody at Extreme. And racing with these guys is so much fun. It's awesome.
We look forward to seeing you at the next round in a couple of weeks at the likes of Pocono Raceway, and looking forward to seeing if you can pull out another spoiler alert for these drivers in the playoffs.
Absolutely.
That was going to be Scottless Rambler, your race winner here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway, as Steve Boneseal has caught up with our second place driver, Michael Mueller.
Yep, I'm here with Michael Mueller on pit road. He's disappointed, was not able quite to get away and get that victory. He had 1 lap newer tires than everyone he was racing around. Michael, what could have you done differently there? And is there something you could have done differently?
I honestly don't know if I could have done anything different. I mean, Scott was on a rail. I mean, he was quick all night. I knew I gave up a lot in the beginning of a run, and I had speed at the end of a run. But I think he saved his tires a little bit more than I did. I mean, I had the 1 lap pressure, but I think I burnt that off trying to stay up there with them. So I'll take it. Second place in the first week of the chase, I'll take that any week.
Well, it looked like here tonight at Atlanta, one of the things that a lot of drivers were struggling with is picking a line and then being able to stay with it, especially coming up with aero tightness when you're coming up on other cars. What were you doing behind the wheel there to combat those things?
The beginning of the run, pretty much the bottom, I felt was king on new tires, and then mid-run I was kind of searching in the beginning of the race, and I stumbled upon running super high against the wall, letting off and arcing it down the hill and getting down to the white was, for me at least, was really working. I was carrying all the momentum off, and it was kind of getting rid of the push tight a little bit, so I kept going with that, and I knew that was going to burn off my right front, but it definitely helped in the end to keep me up front with my guys up there. Yeah, it's awesome. I'm just glad that we got a top 1, 2, 3 for downforce. It's a good week.
Well, it definitely looked like your team as a whole was able to really pull out a great night here at Atlanta. And before we head off to next week, who do you have to thank for making everything happen for you?
I mean, all my guys at Downforce Motorsports. I mean, those guys are awesome. Put in so much work all week to get ready for these. And then just our sponsors. I mean, Next Level Racing for being on the hood of my car every single week. Sim Graphics, Ford Entertainment Group, 26 Promotions, Neonism Games, Norton Graphics, Sim Speed Shop, Ricmotech, Premier Private Car Service, and Doug Designs. All those sponsors for the league, and I mean, you guys up in the booth every week calling a great broadcast every single week. So it's a good week. Ready to move on to Pocono, get some practice in with the guys, and be ready.
Well, thank you for taking the time up here to catch with us on Pit Road, and congratulations on kicking off the chase season with a pretty solid finish. You might not have been able to get the win, but you were the highest placed chase driver, so that counts for something, right?
Absolutely, it's good momentum going on in the rest of the 5 races we got here. So I'll take it, move on to next week, and hopefully get another one or steal a win. I'll take that.
Well, thanks again for coming up here to talk to us. And Taylor, I believe you're catching up with his teammate Rob Haynes on Pit Road.
Yes, indeed. We're here with the final team member of the Downforce Motorsports team of Rob Haynes, who rounds out your podium finish. And Rob, I gotta say, it was kind of a bit of a heartbreaker for you, as you were pretty much one of the dominant cars all race. But of course, Lisa was your teammate who won the race for you tonight. But tell us about your race here today.
Yeah, Taylor, a bit of disappointment there. I pitted, I think, a bit too early on that last pit stop. Those guys went on an extra lap, and that's a bit of an advantage here at Atlanta. So, man, it's fun racing with these guys, and nice leading some laps here.
Well, with that, even though you finished third and was able to lead some laps and know that you have a strong car for this season, how confident do you feel as we get ready to go into these next races here in the playoffs?
I'm pretty comfortable at Pocono. I think that's our next event, so I'm pretty comfortable there. Should be able to get a good qualifying spot, and that's what matters at Pocono for sure. That track's going to be 3 or 4 wide, maybe 5, 6 wide coming down the front stretch. We'll see how it goes, but yeah, I think I'll have a good showing there, and I know I can trust my teammates. They got some man, they're fast.
Yes, indeed. Fast and definitely. And it seems like that might be some of your biggest competition for this playoffs.
Well, we'll see how this goes. It's only the first race of the chase. So, hey, guys, I got a lot of guys to thank. So can I go ahead and thank a couple?
By all means, go ahead and thank all of the ones that help you do this.
Hey, of course, Extreme Motorsports for putting all this stuff on. That's amazing. You guys for broadcasting LSR TV. I'm having fun. These interviews get tougher and tougher as you do more and more, but they're fun. Downforce Motorsports, Sim Graphics, Next Level Racing. Of course, Ford Entertainment Group, man, they're on my hood. 26 Promotions, Neoism Gaming, Norton Graphics, Sim Speed Shop. Man, that little sticker there in the corner means something. And Ricmotech for putting all this on. I appreciate what everybody does, and thanks a lot, guys.
And we thank you for putting on a great show here tonight. That was Rob Haynes finishing out your podium here at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Well, with that, it is time that we come to a close. But don't worry, we'll be back for more great racing action still to come, as we come back on September 9th at 9 p.m. for the next race that will be broadcasted on LSR TV. The Real Sim Racing Cup Series will be at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the Brickyard. Tune in at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on LSR TV. Of course, the series that we're here watching tonight, the Ricmotech Cup Series, can be seen in 2 weeks' time on Thursday, September 12th, from the virtual Pocono Speed Raceway for the second race of the chase. That race and every race of the 2019 Ricmotech Cup Series can be found right here on LSR TV and the iRacing Esports Network. For more information about LSR TV, you can find us on our website at livesimracing.com, on Facebook at facebook.com/LSRTVofficial, and on Twitter at LSRTV. With that, for myself, Taylor Burris, and Steve Bonesteel, we will see you the next time at the Pocono Raceway. With that, good night from Atlanta.